Protectors of the Sunnah. Sunnah followers. Protectors of the Sunnah. In alhamdulillah wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. We're continuing with the topic of Islamic manners. And we spoke yesterday about how important it is for us as Muslims to be truthful in our speech. That means to not go around telling lies. And I gave you guys a great homework assignment, and I was extremely impressed with the results. For those students who actually did the homework, you were supposed to ask your friends and family 2 questions. One question being, do you lie? And the second question being, do you keep your promises? If the answer to both of those questions were yes, then that means you are a truthful person. I mean, yes, no, you do not lie, and yes, you do keep your promises, then that meant that you are a truthful person. But if your answer is yes, I do lie, and yes, I do break my promises, and you are not an honest, truthful person. And you guys did very well. With that assignment, you discovered a lot about yourself. That's why I assigned it to you. So that way you could see how you really are, because oftentimes as humans, we have perceptions about ourselves that are not necessarily shared by others. You may look upon yourself as being an honest, dignified person. However, others may find you a liar, a cheat, a scandal monger, and an arrogant, pompous person. So that was the purpose of that assignment, and I was very impressed with those who participated. And so today what I'm going to do is to further emphasize being truthful in our speech. I'm going to go over the etiquettes of conversating. The etiquettes of conversating, or the etiquettes of conversing with others. We have to first of all understand as Muslims that speaking, in fact, language in general, is a gift that comes to us from Allah. This is a gift, the ability to communicate, the ability to conversate. This is a gift that Allah did not give to any of his other creation except us. And this is what makes us superior over all other creatures. It makes us superior over the birds, over the insects, over the animals, over the mountains, over the sun and the moon. Listen to what Allah says and the interpretation of the meaning. The most gracious Allah has taught the Quran, and he has created man, and he has taught man speech. Cats and birds, they may communicate, but they can't do it with speech, not like we do. Okay? And it is for this reason that since it's a gift that came from Allah, it is for this reason that we have to make sure as human beings, make sure as good Muslims, that what comes from out of our mouth is good. What comes from out of our mouth is truthful. Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning. In most of their private talks, there is no good. But if one exhorts to a deed of charity or justice or conciliation between men, then privacy is permissible. To him who does this, seeking the good pleasure of Allah, we shall soon give a reward of great value. Here, Allah is telling us that he doesn't like for people to hold secret, private conversations, because oftentimes, if we meet to converse in private or to converse in secret, it's bad. We're usually talking about somebody else, backbiting somebody else, or plotting or planning to do something we shouldn't do. Unless we're meeting to do something good, such as bring 2 people together. For example, a husband and his wife. A man is separated from his wife, so you want to meet with a couple of his friends and see what y'all can do to try to get them back together. Or we want to hold a meeting just to see how we can raise money to pay for Sunnah followers. Our website is in need of donations. So let's have a secret meeting, and see what things we can come up with as far as to do to help raise money for Sunnah followers. So unless it's for a good cause like that, we should not be holding secret meetings because they usually lead to something bad. And we want to make sure that whatever we speak about is good and whatever we speak about is truthful. And the only way that we'll be able to do this, guys, is to hold ourselves accountable before we speak. This is why I had you guys do that homework assignment yesterday, because many of you may have thought that you were an honest person, but you find out that you may be honest on one level, but not on all. Well, that's called holding yourself accountable. Well, in order to assure that what comes out of your mouth is good, you should hold yourself accountable before you open your mouth. Before you speak to other people, look at yourself first and ask yourself, should I even say anything? Is this a good time? Or does what I have to say hold any merit or any virtue? Is what I'm going to say be something that'll make it better, or am I going to make it worse? And this is how we blow it. We want to open up our mouths to correct people and all that. And instead, we're making it worse, not better. So again, hold yourself accountable before you open your mouth. And that way, you won't end up causing harm. How many of us are going to actually do that? Listen to what Ibn Masud once said. He said, by Allah, on this earth, there is nothing more deserving of a long imprisonment other than your tongue. Subhanallah. I love this hadith. I love this saying because it is so true. It is so true. We cause so much harm when we open our mouths. Our tongue gets us in so much trouble that it deserves to be locked up. Subhanallah. Ponder that. Also, another companion, Ibn Abbas, he said there are 5 things of value that we need to think about as Muslims. He said the first thing being that we should not engage in senseless talk, because engaging in senseless talk is useless. And also he said, don't speak unless there's a reason to do so. And also he said, do not engage in a heated discussion with an intelligent man, nor a heated discussion with a fool. Because if the man is intelligent, you will only make him angry with you, and you will then make him hate you. And if the man is a fool and uneducated, you will make him try to harm you. Oh, subhanallah. How many of us end up in bad situations because we were arguing with people we shouldn't have been arguing with? You want to argue with a person that's intelligent, and you wonder why that person doesn't want to be around you, why that person doesn't like you, why that person ignores you, why that person won't let you in their website. And then you argue with an ignorant person, and you want to know why that person's trying to kill you, why that person's sending you emails and doing ambitious things to you. And also Ibn Abbas said, in the absence of your brother or sister in faith, speak of he or she in the same words that you would if they were in front of you. And this is good advice. So often many of us fall into backbiting, harming one another with our tongue. If the person's not around, don't say anything about he or she that you would not say if they were standing right there. And also Ibn Abbas said, act like a person who thinks that he will be rewarded for a good deed, and act like a person who will think that he will be punished for committing a sin. And again, so many of us take life for granted. We don't understand that there's consequences to our choices. There's consequences to our behavior. Okay, understand that whatever we do, it's going to either come back in a good way upon us or a bad way. Your choices today will determine where you end up tomorrow. When you're in that grave, will you be in that hellfire or will you be in that green bird? Subhanallah. So these are good advice, words of advice that Ibn Abbas told his students that we need to ponder and implement within ourselves today. And also we have to remember that safety lies in silence. If you are in doubt, it's best to just shut up. If you're in doubt, Brother Muhammad, as to whether you should say something, safety lies in silence. The Prophet ﷺ gave this advice to Abu Dar. He said, Abu Dar, adopt silence. This is a way of causing shaitan to run away. And also silence is a support to you in regards to your religion. So again, especially you young brothers out there like Brother Muhammad, you want to know, maybe I should say something. Maybe I should correct that brother because what he's saying is wrong. Or maybe I should go and approach that sister and tell her. The best thing is to just shut up. You can never go wrong, if being silent. Because again, we have to understand, guys, that the tongue is a rope in the hands of Shaitan. And Shaitan will twist that rope any way he wants to. And this is why our Prophet ﷺ said, the face of a man cannot be straight unless his heart is straight. And his heart cannot be straight unless his tongue is straight. So again, guys, be careful of what you put forth out of your mouth. And this includes avoiding nonsense when speaking too. Be careful what you talk about. If it's not something of value or merit, then shut up. Who wants to hear about nonsense? Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning. Successful indeed are the believers who are humble in their prayers and who stay away from vain speech and who are payers of charity. So again, guys, a lot of people, we were talking about joking. Joking is not haram as long as you are joking about the truth. But even still, you want to be careful. What is the use in it? What is the use in nonsensical speech? Or some people like to talk about sex. What's the point in talking about sex? Oh my God. I hear some people on my job do that. Some of the people on my job will sit there and just spend hours talking about sex. Their sexcapades. I'm like, what? This is ridiculous. Okay? So avoid speaking nonsensical speech as well, guys. Because again, successful indeed are those who are humble. And we need to work on being more humble. Okay? We have a hadith whereas a man died and another man passed a remark about him in front of the prophet that he would go to paradise. The prophet stopped him and said, do you know for a fact that that person is going to be in paradise? It could be that he might have indulged in meaningless conversations during his lifetime. Or perhaps he was a stingy person who didn't give in charity. Again, be careful how we over glorify people. Be careful of how we say bad things about them too. We have to be careful what we say about people, guys. That's an example of meaningless talk. You don't know if that person's in paradise or hell because you don't know what he spent his life doing. So why talk about something that you don't know to be for a fact? Okay? Again, we have to always watch what comes out of our mouths. And this is why Allah punished the Jews. The Jews were once the chosen people, but they were destroyed because they couldn't keep their trust with Allah and they couldn't keep their mouths free of bad things. Listen to what Allah says about them and the interpretation of the meaning. And remember when we took a trust from the children of Israel, telling them to worship no one but Allah and to be good to their parents and their relatives and to the orphans and to those in need. And we told them to speak right and kindly to people and to establish prayer and pay charity. But they couldn't do this. They slandered the prophets that came before them. In fact, they killed most of their prophets. Subhanallah. We don't want that type of fate to happen to us. So again, guys, we as Muslims, if you want to be a true emissary of Islam, we have to assure that what comes out of our mouth is clean and decent. Because clean and decent conversation impresses not only the people who like you, but it also impresses your enemies too. And also it strengthens the ties of friendship. It makes people want to gravitate to be around you. I want to be around her because every time I work with her, she's got something nice to say, and she has good conversation. She's not talking about sex. She's not talking about politics. She's not talking about religion, even though she's a religious person. Her conversation is friendly and good and clean. Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning. Say to them, O Prophet of Allah, to speak what is kind, because the devil sows discord amongst them. Verily, the devil is for man an open enemy. Again, be kind in how we talk to other people. Because again, each and every one of us has a jinn assigned to us. That jinn is going to push you to try to argue, push you to try to say bad things, push you to try to do bad things that will end up causing harm between you and others. We have to resist that and be kind to people. Say good things about people. Say nice things about people. Be good. Be kind. Does everybody understand that? Also, Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning, the good deed and the bad deed are not the same. Repel the bad deed by doing a deed that is better. And surely he between whom and you there was enmity will become as if you were best friends. Subhanallah. What a beautiful verse of the Quran to ponder the meaning of. People want to hate you. People want to hurt you. I can use myself as an example. You all know I speak about it all the time, how I'm going through the biggest trial of my life, having to move to where I live and start work this job I'm working at when I'm finally, for the first time ever, exposed to so much bigotry and racism and hatred and all of that. But I'm adjusting each day. It's getting better each day. More and more people who feared me because they didn't know about me are starting to like me. Because, oh, every time I work with her, she has such good things to say, and she's so funny. She's so comfortable to be around. That verse is so true. You can repel them to the point where people who had enmity towards you, it's become as if they're your best friends now. Oh, I like Laila Nasheeba. Yeah, she's a Muslim, but oh my God, she's so down to earth. She's so nice. She's so funny. She has a sense of humor. She's just like we are. She likes the same things we like. Oh, she's funny. All from being kind and making whatever come from out of your mouth good. Listen to what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. He said, you will not be able to rule over the people with your money, but you will be able to rule over them with your good appearance, your good manners. You can win their heart with these. And this is so true. Subhanallah. At this job I have, many of the people have never been exposed to a Muslim at all, male or female. And then the fact that I'm a female, oh my God, what a shock. But my appearance, so many people in my job are so impressed with how I dress, and they like the way I dress. They say, oh my God, she's so stylish. She's so fashionable. And also my manners. Oh, Layla's always laughing. She's always joking. She's so funny. You can win their hearts. I can never rule over you, but I can win your heart. Subhanallah. And also, Allah says in the Quran, in the interpretation, the meaning, a kind word with forgiveness is better than charity followed by injury. Subhanallah. Be kind to the people, guys. Be pleasant with the people. One of the my job that many of my coworkers like, and these were people who never been around a Muslim woman before, I nickname people the same way the Prophet used to do. For example, there was one worker, I really liked her, a little young girl. She was so adorable. She looked like she was only 16 years old, but she was older. She was 21, but she looked like a kid. She was so adorable. Like a little kid. I want to just grab her and just pinch her cheeks. So I used to call her the adorable one. Every time she'd come to work, I'd say, "Oh, good morning. There's the adorable one." And she would just blush. That's how I won her over. Then I had another coworker, oh my God, this girl had the most beautiful, she was so beautiful, had the most beautiful blonde hair. She is so beautiful. So I used to call her the gorgeous one. And she was only 19 years old too. She'd come into work, I couldn't remember her name, I said, the gorgeous one. I said, there's the adorable one and there's the gorgeous one. And that just won them over. Okay? So again, guys, a kind word with forgiveness is better than charity followed by injury. You want to give people money, but then you go around and talk about, oh yeah, I had to give her some money. Nobody wants to be reminded of the favors that you've given them. But a kind word can go a long way. Being kind to people, being nice to people, especially as a Muslim, because the world has bad views upon us anyway. People are afraid of us. And I knew when I first started working at this job I'm at, the hatred was really fear. They didn't know what to expect from me. They'd never been around a person like me. So a lot of those misgivings were due to their fear. So the kindness, the kind word, the adorable one, the gorgeous one, the luscious one, the nice one, the intelligent one. I was nicknaming people because I couldn't remember all the names anyway, and I was nicknaming them so much. Cowgirl. And there's one I call Pocahontas. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Looks like she is from Pocahontas fame. I call her Pocahontas. She invited me to her farm. She's a farmer. She comes from a family of farmers. She raises black Angus cows. And she invited me to come to her farm so I can pet the babies when they're born in January. Pocahontas. Again, kindness, guys. We need to work on winning the heart of the people through our good appearance and our good manners. This is something that we Muslims today need to work on. And finally, guys, Allah Himself has commanded us as Muslims to adopt decent and serious manners of speaking. In fact, it is against Islam for us to sit around arguing with others about religious matters. Listen to what the Prophet, listen to what Allah says and the interpretation, the meaning, and argue not with the people of the book, except with such of them who do wrong. Here Allah is telling us, don't go around arguing about your way of life. Don't argue with the Christians or the Jews about their beliefs versus yours. This is wrong. I don't discuss my religion on the job. I don't discuss politics either. I try to avoid all those type of topics that can lead to debate and anger. And instead, I'd rather nickname people and be personable with people, and see the good in people and talk about the things that I know are of interest to them, such as their horses, their cows, their plans for college and things like that. So thus, guys, these are some of the etiquettes of conversation that our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam taught us. On that note, we're going to stop right here for today. Tomorrow, I'm going to complete this topic by speaking more about conversing with others. I'm going to give you guys no homework today because you did so well on the homework assignment yesterday. I want you to ponder that. Okay? So we'll stop right here. Sunnah protectors of the Sunnah. sunnah followers.